I've been into currently. And what's interesting about everybody's answer tonight is everybody had a different answer for something. Somebody said something about reading, and somebody said something about music. Music, if your ears are open to many genres of music, you can totally experience an amazing artistic form of different music from around the world. Reading is the same way because every author and writer uses a different form of writing to grab the reader's attention. So that was why I asked that question tonight. I wanted to see how many people would say art as in pictures and then what other type of art they had. And with that, I'd like to welcome everybody to Power Talkers 229th meeting tonight. We have a wonderful Toastmaster and speakers ahead tonight. Quinn, can you make sure you're recording the meeting tonight for us, please?
We are recording. If you
Dude,
don't...
you are the man. So let's go ahead and get started with our meeting tonight. Our Toastmaster, who will get things going and keep us on time, is Mary Strode.
Thank you, Eddie. I love the theme of celebrating the arts. And I love the way Eddie got us started with the question of the day. And it was really interesting to hear what different people came up with. We're going to have a fantastic meeting tonight. The highlights are going to be our two prepared speeches by Needy and then by Leon. We'll look forward to that a little bit later on. But I'm going to kick things off with just a little slideshow. I'm going to share my screen. You just wait just a couple seconds for that to come up. Can everyone see that? It's a pair of pears. A little humor there. So what would our lives be like without the arts? Without painting, sculpture, books, photographs? Why isn't that advancing? There. Let's pause for a minute and consider the resonating beauty of a painting, the passion of a poem, the exuberance of a dance performance. Our lives are supremely enriched by the arts in all of its forms and expressions. The arts have a way of teaching us to be more aware, alive, and present in the moment. I just love that about the arts. The arts help us to open our minds and hearts to new ideas and experiences, and to facilitate connection with and understanding of those that we share the planet with. Celebrating the arts is our theme today, but may we always find ways to honor the arts in our own unique lives. With that, we're going to start with the rest of the program. We have Quinn Bunell to give our educational thought, and after Quinn, we will have the joke master, Chris Lopez. So let's go with Quinn for the educational thought.
Thank you, Mary. We've all heard very different interpretations of what art is. I think there is no limit to what art can be. And recently I learned about the art of public speaking and talking. This book was called Talking to Crazy by Mark Goulstein. It's about talking to irrational people who really try to push your buttons and get a rise out of you, and what you should do when you talk to those people. So I'm going to say the quick 8 steps that you should always take if you ever interact with a customer or a friend or a family member who starts yelling at you and you start to feel frustrated. Maybe your amygdala, as Leon would talk about, is pushing you to do something that's very guttural, that's like, caveman-y. But here are the 8 steps real quick. First, think about your physical awareness. Right now, how am I physically feeling? Are my hands clenched up? Second, think about emotional awareness. I'm feeling angry, sad, frustrated. Next, think about your impulse awareness. This makes me feel like doing this immediately, real fast, no thinking. What would be the consequences of that? That's consequence awareness. Insight awareness. After you've taken a little bit of poise in each second and you're thinking more about all those emotions and impulses, you're probably starting to think more clearly, and you can ask why was I feeling this way? Solution awareness. Maybe you come up with a better solution now that you are feeling more comfortable. Benefit awareness. What are all the benefits for those solutions? And then finally, commit to an action. So whenever you feel like someone is pushing your buttons, take a minute for poise, go through those 8 steps, and I will type them into the chat, and you will be better off when talking to crazy. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Quinn. That was excellent. Well done. Our humorist tonight, Chris Lopez. Take it away,
Thank you,
Chris.
Mary. All right, I got a couple quick and funny jokes for everyone today. I'm gonna go through 3 of them. First one is, my teachers always told me I would never amount to much because I procrastinated so much. I told them, just you wait. All right.
Good one.
A man walks into the library and asks the librarian for books about paranoia. She whispers, they're right behind you. And then the last one is, why did the taxi driver get fired? Because passengers didn't like it when she went the extra mile.
Oh.
Well done. Nice job. That was great. Our grammarian this evening is Eddie Vieira. Eddie, could you please tell us what the grammarian does?
I would be happy to. I will be listening to everybody speak tonight and for unique and different uses of the language. The first one I've already got tonight is by Quinn, and it is guttural. I actually looked it up, and it's actually a word that should be used more often, but it's not. And I will give my report when asked for.
Fabulous. Thank you, Eddie. So the role of timer was Cliff's assignment, but Cliff wasn't able to be here tonight. So that role is available. Would anyone like to be our timer tonight?
I can be the timer.
Thank you, Pauline. Much appreciated. Pauline, would you like to really briefly tell us what the timer does?
Absolutely. My job as timer is to make sure that everyone who has a prepared speech and also does table topics comes within their guidelines, and I'll give them a warning of green, yellow, and red for when they're within or going beyond those lines.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you very much. Our counter tonight is Robert Tran. Robert, could you tell us what the counter does, please?
Yes. I'll be listening to everyone today and making any notes of any ahs, ums, any extra phrases. Oh, look, there's a for myself. There's a second one. And then any filler words or any filler words in your speeches. And there's a couple more for myself. So yeah, keeping tracking. Back to you, Mary.
Thank you, Robert. Our listener tonight will be Pauline Arroyo. Pauline, could you please share what the listener does?
Absolutely. As listener, I will be taking notes throughout the meeting, constructing some questions to make sure that everybody's been giving every speaker their undivided attention. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. So we got all the roles now filled. I think we're in good shape. Did I miss anything?
Are you missing an awards master?
An awards master. Thank you, Quinn. I think that might have Yvette's name on it.
Okay.
Fabulous. Thank you. I'm going to make a note of that. Now it's time to move on into the speaking portion of our meeting. As I mentioned earlier, we have 2 speakers. Needy Dillon is going to be giving her icebreaker speech, and then following that, Leon Williams will be speaking. But to get started, I'd like to hear from the evaluator of Needy's speech, who will be Audrey. Audrey, could you tell us a little bit about the objectives of Needy's speech tonight?
Yes, so tonight's very exciting. It's her
icebreaker speech, the first time we get to hear from Needy. And she's chosen the pathway of presentation mastery. This is a 4 to 6 minute speech, and the goal is just to deliver a speech on any topic as an introduction to the club using any style that appeals. So it's 4 to 6 minutes. Thank you.
Perfect. And to help Needy stay within her time constraints, could our timer please briefly review what that looks like, the 4 to 6 minutes?
Absolutely. So when Needy reaches 4 minutes, I will put up green. When she reaches 5, I will put up yellow. And then when she reaches 6, I'll put up red, and she will have 30 seconds to wrap it up.
Thank you very much, Madame Timer. Before I introduce Needy, I'd just like to say that the feedback through the chat will be really important. It's always important, but particularly for an icebreaker speech, really want to encourage everyone to provide Needy with some feedback following her speech. Needy will be talking about what change means to her. Please give a warm welcome to Needy for her icebreaker speech.
Hey, Nidhi, you're on mute.
Sorry.
Good.
Good evening, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. Today, I'm going to share a little bit about myself through the lens of change. As the Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, the only constant is change. I think we can all relate to this in some measure with the onset of this pandemic. I have always been resistant to change. Perhaps this goes back to my childhood, where my dad, as a government official, would periodically be moved around the country, and even though his position offered many privileges, comforts, and my mom with her innate ability to change any new house into a home, I still craved the familiar. My siblings and I were sent to a boarding school in the hills in North India, all the way from elementary to high school. This was a formative experience for us. We got to connect with cousins who were already at the school and also build incredible friendships with kids we were spending 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 8 months a year with. And we still cherish these friendships. I recall, however, every time we'd be leaving home and going up to school, I would get a sinking feeling. I did not want to leave the familiarity of home. Perhaps the greatest shift for me was after I finished college and an additional 3 years of fashion school, all close to home, getting married and moving to Connecticut. This was a difficult change for me. I had always been surrounded by friends and family. Even though the change was not easy, I guess everybody who steps out of their comfort zone builds new skill sets. I learned how to cook, and I channeled my passion for design into becoming a graphic artist for clothing companies in New York. During this time, my husband and I were able to travel before the kids came along. And what a big change that was. Our families in typical Indian fashion were pushing us to start our family, and no one gives you the picture of, oh my God, this is going to change your life. As soon as the first of our 2 kids came along, I did not want to be commuting into New York and the long hours I was putting in there. We eventually moved to the East Bay in Pleasanton after more than a decade in Connecticut. And a couple of years later, over to the Sacramento area. In every move, we learned something, whether it was making new friends, picking up outdoor activities, the kids joining year-round swim teams, and me partnering with event planners and graphic design projects. Little did we know we had another major change on the horizon. We moved to India. This was an amazing experience for the kids and for us as well. My father-in-law had not been well, and we wanted to be able to spend some time with him. The kids experienced everything from delicious street food, inquisitive relatives, loud Punjabi weddings, and colorful Indian festivals. Moving back to Sacramento, I decided it was time for a change of career. from graphic design to cybersecurity. From friends who were alarmed at how I would handle this change into a technical arena at this point in my life, to professors who wanted feedback on how someone with no prior experience was going to fare in a certificate examination. I realized that unless I am outside my comfort zone and pushing myself, there's no way I'm achieving my goals. Joining Toastmasters illustrates just such an opportunity for me. I've always wanted to be comfortable speaking in front of an audience. I remember in school watching kids on the debate team and being fascinated by their ability to be good public speakers. I knew no matter which path they chose in life, they were going to be successful. I've loved the structure of Toastmasters, even though I've been intimidated by the idea of getting up and giving a long speech. As you guys are aware at this point, I do not like a shift in the status quo. And what a shift this pandemic has been for all of us. Challenging to so many, it's given me the opportunity to really reset, reevaluate, and recalibrate my life. To pause, spend time with the kids, maybe teach them some skills like cooking, gardening, and really learn from them the importance of being in the moment. I wouldn't have the chance to immerse myself in World War literature with my daughter, or design playing cards with my son who loves card history, featuring cute little Indian motifs. There are some positives here. We've taken up pack crafting. We're just thankful for the luxury of being able to stay home. As I look to the future and discuss with them the importance of staying connected with friends and family, of taking ownership of your choices and the results, of changing what you can accept and accepting what is unchangeable, I realize I too am learning from them and breaking down my resistance to change, which at the end is constant. Madam Toastmaster, thank you.
Amazing job, Needy. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Madame Timer, could we please have a minute on the clock so that folks can send feedback to Needy through the chat?
Yes.
Please send a private message to Needy, and I'm sure she'll really appreciate your feedback.
And that's 1 minute.
Thank you very much. Our second speaker, Leon Williams, will be evaluated by Victor Irving Jenkins. Victor, would you please review for us the objectives for Leon's speech? I think you're muted, Victor.
So how do I get over the embarrassment of doing that? I don't know what I'm going to do. Leon is doing his icebreaker speech for Presentation Mastery Pathways. In this icebreaker, Leon will highlight skills that he already has, learn something about skills that he may develop, and get accustomed to, and we'll get accustomed to hearing what type of member that Leon is going to be as he joins this club. Speech time is 4 to 6 minutes.
Thank you, Victor. Madame Timer, could you please quickly run through what 4 to 6 minutes looks like with the timing cards?
Yes. At 4, Leon will get the green. At 5, he will get the yellow. And then at 6, he will get the red with 30 seconds to wrap up.
Thank you very much. Fellow Toastmasters, it's my honor to introduce Leon Williams to give his speech entitled, Who I'm Being Now.
Carl Schmallenberg, an independent film director and cinematographer, said something that really just struck me. He said, "My life is a struggle between what they want me to be, what I want me to be, and who I'm being instead." Many of us spend decades after that holy grail trying to find that magic elixir, that special potion that will help us to live a happy life. When in the end, some of us come to find that we already had it, that it was inside of us all the time. And what that secret is, that secret is nothing but the fact that you have to focus on who you're being in each and every moment. I'm going to spend the next 6 minutes, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. Those 6 minutes, I'm going to share with you who I'm being now. But before I do that, I want to share with you who I've been. I'm going to play a 2-minute video clip. And if at the end of that video clip, you aren't absolutely sure as to why I played it, I'm going to explain it to you. Someone had a hand up to check some of your Andy. What is it if money was not an object? What are some of your dreams? What's something you would do, something you have? Okay, so you own your own business? Okay. We start at this circle when we were young, and by the time we reached 25, we got into this circle here. Okay. So what do? We start to rationalize our dreams away. Owning your own business. Well, hey, the Small Business Administration said 80% of all small businesses fail within the first year. So it doesn't even make any sense to start it. And with my luck, I'm in at 80%, right? Travel. Oh, hey, it's not safe to travel. If you travel to Florida, you'll end up getting shot. Something like that. So I might as well just stay here. Why is school? Charity. People will believe in something more if they work for it themselves, right? So why should I get anything away? I don't care. We will find some way to rationalize our dreams away, right? Okay? What's a pyramid, right? Where you have a structure that. So what happens? You decide, Jay, decide that she's gonna go to Jamaica, right? Are you married, Jamie? Okay. Yeah, what? And they decide they're gonna come home and you step off the plane. Who's waiting for them? No. Okay. If it's not apparent why I shared that, the uhs, the ahs, the ums, the so's, the buts, the ands, the stuttering, the stammering, I have a hard time watching that right today. I watch it because I remind myself of why I'm here in this particular moment. I sputtered through the 90s with that, and it was great. I was successful. It worked until it didn't. In the 2000s, when my audience was a lot more sophisticated and I was running 4 different companies and managing people's finances and helping them with their livelihoods, it was a little bit different. I didn't feel quite as comfortable with my communication because it was awful. My communication skills were absolutely awful. And then I said, well, there's ways around it. And we always figure out ways on how to get around that. I had a mentor that he was a Mormon financial planner out of Salt Lake City, author of 6 books. And I did put on these very large seminars here. This was, I think, 2007. I put on 3 very large seminars at the Hyatt, spent a ton of money on these seminars. And I was able to talk him into doing the seminar for me. Now get this, it's my seminar. I'm spending all the money, but I don't feel comfortable speaking because I had lousy communication skills. In order for him to do that, the minute he stepped off the plane, I had to give him 10 grand. Then I had to give him 40% of all the business that was done as a result of that seminar. It cost me a lot of money. Another instance, another financial planner, I wanted to do a radio station, a radio show every week. He said, Leon, I'm already doing one in 12 different markets. Just pay me a couple of grand a week, the cost of doing the show, and I'll give you all the leads. And because I really didn't want to speak and what I was after were the leads anyhow, that was great. Well, until it wasn't. He flamboozled me into a contract. I ended up paying $100 a lead. After 3 weeks, I was in a whole 55 grand. And I ended up talking it down to 35 grand and just to get rid of the guy. But those are experiences that cost me a lot. And what I've come to know now, and I'm very past that, but who I am now is focusing on who I'm being at this particular moment, at this particular time. So this is my declaration. My declaration to you is that you have carte blanche to give it to me. And I am going to bring it each and every moment. I'm going to bring it. Madam Toastmaster.
Terrific job, Leon. Very innovative. Thank you so much. May we please have a minute on the clock, Madame Timer, so that folks can give some feedback to Leon?
Yes.
And shortly I'll be asking for the timing of each speech.
That's a minute on the clock.
Thank you very much. So how did our 2 speakers do with their time for their speeches?
Both of our speakers qualified. Needy, I had around 5 minutes and 39 seconds. And Leon, I have clocked in around 6 minutes and 10 seconds. So just under 2 hours.
All right. At this time, would everyone please vote for their favorite speaker and send your vote to our awards master through the chat. Her name is Yvette. Yep. We'll need a minute on the clock to do that, I think. All right, yay! Comments, comments, we love those comments. It's transition time. We are transitioning over to table topics, our extemporaneous segment of the meeting. Our table topics master tonight is none other than Chris Valenzuela. Please welcome Chris to the floor.
Thank you very much all for the introduction. Table topics are incredibly important because just as prepared speeches are important, being able to speak on the fly is also really important. And so today we're going to work on that by I'll ask a series of questions and prompt you all to answer it. If I could get our timing constraints, that would be great.
Our timing constraints are going to be 1 minute to 2 minutes. So at the 1 minute mark, all of our speakers will see the green. At the 1 minute 30, they will see the yellow. And at the 2 minute, they will see the red. And that gives them 30 seconds to wrap it up.
Thank you very much, Pauline. And can I also have a reminder of what our word of the day is?
My apologies, I couldn't find my microphone. The word of the day, what was that?
Oh, enunciate. I think Chris just said it.
Yep, he's got it. I'll let Chris finish.
Chris, go for it.
Sorry, I didn't hear anyone, so I just popped in. My bad. But it's enunciate. It's to utter or pronounce, especially in an articulate or a particular manner.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chris. Cool. Well, we are going to stay in the theme of creative arts, and I stole a trick out of our Toastmasters group bag, and I have some items. So everyone's going to be answering the same question, but it's going to be in regard to the item that I display when I randomly select someone. And the question is going to be, if you were an artist, or if you are an artist of some type, how would you incorporate this item? And you can choose how you would incorporate that item. Any questions? All right. So the first person who I'm going to have speak is going to be none other than Chris Lopez. So
all right,
Chris. Yep. So many of you all know I just had my second daughter, and she's now a month old. So I have a lot of baby supplies. So if you were an artist, or if you are an artist, how would you incorporate this diaper into your artwork?
I haven't been around diapers ever in my life, other than my own when I was a kid, probably. Let's see. Incorporate. If I was an artist, how would I incorporate a diaper? I've always had a very tough time drawing perfect oval shapes or circles. I don't know the shape of a diaper. Can you put that up one more time? Rectangular, oval, something like that. All right. I've always had a very tough time being able to draw rectangular shapes. It was always, one side would always be too long and the other side would be very short, and it ended up looking like some shape of a pentagon somehow, 5 sides, or not sure. And when I came across this dirty diaper on the ground, I was like, oh, it's the perfect rectangle. Now I can finally start completing my drawing that I have envisioned for myself. And it was this beautiful drawing that's going to be 5 rectangles that went around in a circle. So a rectangle here, rectangle here, rectangle here, somewhat of looking like a wind turbine for that matter. So I looked at the dirty diaper, but I said, I wasn't really sure, do I really want to risk the dirty diaper for this art? But art was so close to my heart that I said, I gotta do it. So I put on some clean gloves. I don't know where I found the gloves, but I had gloves somehow, you know. And I picked up this dirty diaper. I took it home to my beautiful artistic room, and I started shaping out my drawing. And it came out perfect because even the edges with the feces coming to the side made it look more beautiful. And I never used the word enunciate again.
Yeah, you did. You just did. Thanks, Chris. All right. for our second speaker, the question is again going to be, if you were an artist, or if you are an artist, how would you incorporate this item? And our next speaker is going to be none other than Jake. So Jake, if you are an artist, how would you incorporate this Pokemon card? It's a Squirtle. It's a turtle-like Pokemon. And that's about as much information as I can give.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. I am currently mastering the art of meditation and past life regression. Now, this takes a tremendous amount of concentration. It requires that I have the aid of an outside voice that is very calm, that is direct, soothing, and of course, he is the master of enunciation. And as he leads me through my guided meditation towards past life regression, I am to visualize various parts of my life and be willing to accept those things that come into my mind, even if they're confusing, even if they're a Pokemon card of a Squirtle. I've had this temptation to say, Squirtle, go away, go away. Why are you here? I'll never get to my past life if you keep blocking my vision. I want to see the calm beach. I want to be on the beautiful boat that arrives onto another beach where I can go up some stairs and no, not the Squirtle again. That's why this is an art. It requires a tremendous amount of concentration for meditation. Have I found my past life? I'm not sure. Maybe, just maybe, I belong in the world of Pokemon. I'll let you know when I get there. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Great work. Thank you very much. And a very creative way to incorporate a Pokemon card. Our next person who's going to participate in Table Topics is going to be our fellow interior designer, Audrey. So Audrey, if you were an artist, how would you incorporate this fluffy unicorn?
Okay. I can think of so many things to do with that fluffy unicorn. I think I will enunciate the importance to keep it so plush and fresh. I think it needs to be sticking out. I personally would buy a few dozen of them and put them in different floral arrangements, make a few wreaths. I think it's really kind of an all-season look there. You have really the whole rainbow, and you can get different fluff balls. Also, an advanced version, I just got plants to add to my home, and it would be nice to create a DIY craft. And I will hollow out the tube of that unicorn and then stick it in the planter. And while I'm away, I just fill it up with water and it'll slowly drip in. And then I have this cute little unicorn hanging out of all of my plants. And I think it could be a new craze, along with the diaper rectangles and Squirtle meditation overcoming. There is a lot of potential for those unicorns. I will go on and order them right now, actually. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
There are absolutely more ways to use this unicorn than I can think of. So thank you very much for that. Do we have time for one more? Should we close it out, Madam Toastmaster?
I think we can do one more.
All right, for our last one, it's going to be none other than Quinn Bunnell. Quinn, if you were an artist, or if you are an artist, how would you incorporate the Death Star?
The Death Star, icon of the 90s. And for me, art is all about the feeling. The Death Star represents success in many ways. They developed this amazing technology. And it was also success for the rebels when they blew it up. So in a way, this piece of art is a duality, a thing that is success for two completely opposing forces. So I would probably have some sort of art exhibit that makes you reconsider what you think is success may also be success for your enemy, for someone who's not you. And I would try to enunciate that in the art in whatever form it took. I also want to split my table topics and talk about what I would do with the diaper, because I do think that, you know, it's important to bring up strong feelings when you are creating art. So I would probably make an art exhibit with the diaper, where you have the diaper and it's like a black hole basically inside of the diaper. You can't see anything in. And the art exhibit, you ask the participants to put their hand inside of the diaper. And you can see Jake's face, like art is meant to make you feel a certain way, to elicit strong feelings. And I feel like doing that in an art exhibit with, when you can't see what's inside the diaper, would be my ideal form of art. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you for the very graphic description. So with that, we'll go ahead and close table topics. Pauline, if you could put a minute on the clock, let's go ahead and send out our votes for the best table topic today. And our awards, remind me of who's doing awards again today.
Chris, real quick, can you make sure they all use the word today and pass the timing?
Yes,
Sorry.
yes. Thank you very much. Can we have a check on their timing and if everyone used the word of the day?
Yes, for timing, I can give you that report. It looks like all of our speakers qualified. Chris clocked in right at 2 minutes, very impressive. Jake came in at 1:43, Aj at 1:02, and Quinn 1:12.
Awesome. And did everyone use the word of the day?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So 1 minute and we'll go ahead and vote for the best table topics of the day.
All right, that's time.
All right. And with that, I would like to introduce our general evaluator for the night.
Hello, and thank you, Chris. My fellow Toastmasters, this is our favorite part of the evening. This is our opportunity to learn. And since we are all Toastmasters here, I'm going to forego the detailed description of what we take away from this portion and jump right into the introduction of our first evaluator. Audrey is evaluating our first speaker, Needy, whom we got to meet this evening. Audrey, take it away.
Thank you. And congratulations, Needy, on your first speech in PowerTalkers. You did a fantastic job. It did not sound like a first speech to me. You wanted me to look out specifically for eye contact and if you were swaying side to side. So I looked for those things as well as any other kind of nervous movements, and then also the organization of your speech. And to start off with eye contact, I think you did a great job. It's obviously very hard to tell online, but I could tell you were staring at the camera and it didn't feel like you were using notes. I would say next time, I like how you stood up. If you can prop up your camera like to the same eye level, even on books or anything, it'll look like, it kind of looked like you were looking down just a little bit. So then your eyes will be like eye level with it. let's see, for swaying side to side, I didn't see any of that at all. You had very good posture. You seemed very confident standing, and you used hand gestures, which I liked. And I think it's kind of hard on camera. I wonder if sometimes if you can try putting your hands by your side. That way, when you move them up to like motion towards me or the other things you did, it'll make more of an impact. I also, let's see, as far as your organization of your speech, I thought it was very clear. It was very chronological. You went through all the changes you've made up until joining Toastmasters. So that was nice. Sometimes it gets a little fuzzy, but I thought it was very easy to follow. It's obvious that whether, I can't remember if you've been in another Toastmaster group before, or if this is like your first speech, because it really didn't feel like that to me, but it's obvious that you've laid some groundwork for speaking, whether it's in like previous work experiences or other things. And I think it definitely came through. So you have a really good foundation to work on. I liked, you also had a little bit of varied intonation, like when you said slow down and said fascinated by it. I like that. Add things like that. I would say for next time, use a little more vocal variety. You know, raise and lower your voice. But I thought you did a fantastic job for your first speech. Thank you so much for sharing. I learned a lot about you, and it was very interesting also the way that you shared a lot about you, your life. I am so glad that you made the change to join Toastmasters. Thank you very much, Needy. Back to you, Mrs. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Audrey. While we make sure, as I make sure that Victor is unmuted, I'm going to ask our timer to give him the courtesy of reminding him of the timing constraints.
Thank you, Jake. Our time constraints for our evaluators are 2 to 3 minutes. At the 2-minute mark, you will receive the green. At 2:30, there will be the yellow. And then at 3 minutes, you'll get the red, and that gives you 30 seconds to wrap up.
Thank you. Victor Irvin Jenkins has been a longtime friend, and maybe our speaker today might feel as though he was a nemesis, but I have a feeling he's going to give our speaker an amazing evaluation and thorough. So let's all listen up as Victor evaluates Leon Williams. Victor.
Well, Leon, you've transformed yourself into the poster child for Toastmasters. If we didn't know how exceptional a speaker you were, how effective a speaker you were, we would know after that little thing that you showed us beforehand. By showing us that thing beforehand, you did way more than what you thought you were going to do. I'm sure you intended on telling us what you were going to tell us, which that clip did, and showing us what you were going to show us. That clip did that as well. But it did something else that you may not be aware of. It showed that whoever your mentor was had to be exceptional. Because, brother, what you showed us in the beginning, man, we started to pray for you right away. We were glad that that was in your past. And another thing, it seemed as though you might have channeled Benjamin Buttons. Because from the time you showed us that video until right now, you seem to have gotten 20 years younger. And we appreciate that. Now, in terms of what you did well, you brought your resonant voice. You brought your resonant voice to the presentation, and we all appreciate that. That made you easy to listen to. And you wore a jacket. Your appearance was exceptional. Had the open collar look, and we all like that as well. So your appearance, which is a big part of your delivery, was on point. In terms of ways that you could have improved, let's go and get to that part. If it were me, I would show more poise. In the presentation mastery pathways where you are, you're going to be using visual aids. You might be using a PowerPoint. You may be holding a clicker in your hand. You may be holding up things. And in that regard, the people that are looking at you and listening to you, they're going to have visual thing that's going to be slightly distracting. So I think if you can show a little poise by placing your hands to your side, planting yourself in one spot for a few seconds, moving to another spot for a few seconds, and also implement some strategic pauses as you scan the room. As you scan the room and make the point that you're going to make, the people can combine what you are saying along with what you are showing them, and they will be totally impressed with what you're saying and what you're doing. It was an icebreaker, but it was only an icebreaker in theory, and I'm glad that you finally got into the Pathways game, because the Pathways game has been waiting for you for a very long time. Keep up the good work. Whenever you're doing a presentation, it's always a good idea to wear a jacket. If you're doing a presentation that's not in the Toastmasters meeting, go ahead and throw on a necktie as well. And as you can see, my love fest with you is over with, so I can't tell you anything else nice about your speech. Thank you, Leon.
And thank you, Victor. Madam Timer, how well did our evaluators do in staying within the timing constraints?
Our evaluators did a great job. Audrey clocked in right at 2 minutes, 40 seconds. And then Victor, I had a little confusion, but Quinn helped me out there. He did great. He came right in at 3 minutes and 5 seconds.
Bravo. Very impressive, both of you. Yes, Victor, you were sweating it out. So my fellow Toastmasters, Yvette is still your awards master, and she is collecting those ballots. So keep them going. Tap on her name, go into the chat, and vote for Audrey or Victor. Moving right along, our grammarian this evening is none other than our club president, Eddie Vieira. And Eddie is there in the tower, and as he's getting those planes to land, he's ready to take off for us and let us know just how we did as our grammarian.
I actually caught several words or phrases that should be used but are not or haven't been used in a while. And I will be honest, I didn't catch everything because I was intrigued with the table topics and laughing like everybody else. But like I said at the beginning, Quinn used, oh geez, guttural, is that right, Quinn?
Guttural.
Guttural.
Victor used resonant voice. That's something that I haven't heard in a very long time. Something else I haven't heard in a very long time, flamboozled. Leon gave us that great word. And Audrey used varied intonation. Haven't heard that one in a while. Something else I haven't heard in a while, especially in Toastmasters, is Squirtle. I don't know if everybody knows who Squirtle is, but I haven't heard that in Toastmasters ever. First time. Loved it. And that is my report. Thank you, Jake.
I'll add one to that, proclivity. Thank you, Mary, for that word. We also have our listener this evening. Now, Pauline, I'm not sure how you were able to do timer and listener. So are we giving this a pass, or have you a little something for us this evening?
I've got it. I got a couple questions.
Wow. You have the floor.
Thank you. Number one, what instrument did Chris Valenzuela used to play back in school?
The sax.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, saxophone.
Not the fiddle.
What family member of Mary's was an artist?
Her mom.
Mom. Yes, her mom. Where did Needy move to after getting married?
Connecticut.
Yes. In what decade did Leon say he stuttered through?
90s.
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 Yes. And what art is Jake currently working on mastering?
Public
Past
speaking.
life regression.
That too.
Yes, I put meditation, but that counts. And I had Quinn was telling us that art should elicit a reaction. There should be something kind of guttural about it. Quinn wants us to put our hands into what as part of his art?
Baby diaper.
Dirty diapers.
Baby diaper.
Poopy diaper.
Yes, good job.
Most impressive. And this is my chance to give some feedback to the meeting as a whole. And I start with, anytime somebody is able to do multiple roles, wearing multiple hats, kudos to you and hats off to you. Congratulations and thank you so much, Pauline, for doing that this evening. I also hand up hats off to any Toastmaster who steps in and is always ready to volunteer. So Yvette, thank you so much for doing that. Mary, always on the spot, ready to go, especially when our Sergeant of Arms and our President are rocking and rolling right at 7 o'clock. Bravo. Of course, Mary, as our Toastmaster, you really took the theme and brought it to us in a way that just broadened our horizons. And that feeling that you invoked, it was like an invocation for the entire meeting. I felt it. I'm not sure how everybody else felt, but I truly, from the tone of your voice to the visuals that you provided to what you chose to say, it truly is that moment of an event that helps us all to sit into our seats and say, I am present. And for that, let Mary be an example for us all. It's not just the energy, it is that presence that you bring. Quinn, as our educator, you always bring something to the table that we truly can learn from and implement right away. I want to encourage you to see this as a speaking opportunity. And I have seen you prepare in a room for the actual presentation, whether it was with handouts or your stature or tie. And what I noticed tonight was an opportunity for you to practice learning to read in front of an audience, because reading is completely acceptable. And when you spoke into the camera, you are graceful as ever. You can read ever so gracefully. Having just recently watched a funeral and watched many people read from paper, you can see how it is done, or you'll see many times in speeches. It is necessary and it can be done eloquently. So I encourage you to practice the art of reading speeches in front of audiences. And this would be one of those, because it's awesome. Chris, excellent timing on one-liners. Typically I'm like, dude, this is an opportunity for a story, this or that. One-liners, they just don't always land. And why? Because waiting too long for an answer and there's an awkward moment, and you just had your timing down perfectly. So bravo on that. Thank you so much. Another thing that I noticed that this club has a tendency to do, as well as others, is that we have this desire to jump in and be helpers when somebody forgets something, like the Toastmaster is trying to figure something out and it's like, oh, who's next? And rather than letting them have the podium or the lectern or the camera, other members want to jump in and remind them and help them. And it's ever so more polite to just give them pause and let them actually continue to run the meeting. And we did a beautiful time. We had only one short interruption. Chris Lopez was like, no, I gotta help Chris Venezuela. I gotta help him. But that's just a small example of what can happen. And we did a really good job of very few or no interruptions otherwise. Both speakers showed up ready to present, and more importantly, they stood with presentations. I see this club just totally taking it to the next level. I also see more faces and less dark screens tonight. So again, truly taking it to the next level. I see all smiling faces, so that's beautiful. As far as our evaluators go, as I said, Victor, you made me sweat it out, because I have to say that your ability to truly take things to the next level with your evaluations you bring a lot of energy to your evaluations, and we need that. So I love that you brought that to him, and that you're willing to challenge him. So not just give him a lot of praise, but to truly challenge him. As did you, Audrey. It's tempting to let somebody off the hook, but to make sure that she had something to take away was important too. So thank you so much for that, Audrey. That is to me, the follow-up and the feedback that is important to share. I hope you find this helpful. I also find it helpful when the all counter follows me up and gives me an earful of just how much I stuttered just now. And well, we can all learn how much we've improved by finding out if we only did 20 ahs and ums as opposed to 30 last time. Robert Tran, help us out here and let us know how we've grown.
Okay, thank you, Jake. I would say I'm starting to hear people more. I'm starting to notice a lot more pauses. So everyone has been, throughout this whole speech, throughout this meeting, I noticed everyone has paused more. So that was really good. Let's start off with Quinn. One at the beginning for the educational thought. There was a couple ums for when you started your table topics, and then you transition into flowing your speech. No ums. Chris Lopez, one earlier, and then a couple ums in begin your speech, same thing. But then once you started in the middle, it started flowing really quickly, and you did a really good job. Eddie, and OGs, no ums. Let's see, me, I've been keeping count, so about like 8 or more. Let's see, Pauline, about 4. Mary, 1 Audrey, a let's see, and 2 Leon, 4 ums. Chris, none. Jake, actually couldn't hear any until you started pointing out your stutters towards the end. But didn't hear anything earlier. And Victor, none. And and Needy, none either. And that's and that's it. And back to Jake, or
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I really wanted to help you there. I was like, ooh, I wanted to help you. There was a word I was looking for on my paper as I was wrapping up my evaluation, because there was something I needed to point out, and that was our evaluator, Victor, used the word poise. And when he was referring to Leon, he kept saying, well, you could be more poised. And it rattled me a bit. And then what was very helpful, Victor, is when you explained what poise meant to you and expanded on, gave some examples. My husband used to say to me, I'll be home soon. And then I realized his idea of soon and my idea of soon were quite different. In evaluations, when you give a recommendation, it is essential that you give an example in order to make sure that you're on the same page, or at the very least, meet afterwards to make sure that you are clear. So thank you very much, Victor, for expanding on your idea of what poise looks like. I think we all grew from that. I certainly did. It is that time that we find out just who the winners were this evening. Yvette, you are just waiting ever so patiently to announce our award winners, and it is time. Take it away, sister.
Thank you, Jake. I appreciate it. And thank you, Mary, for having the theme of celebrating the arts. And it just, I agree. I don't remember who exactly said it, but definitely the arts are definitely fulfilling in our lives in one way or another, and it enriches our lives. And in light of that, I wanted to add a little something to the awards. So I will share the screen. Oop. Desktop. Share. Oh. Oh no. Oh my word. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, it's not working. That's okay. So I'll just announce it. So for Best Speaker Award, it goes to Niti. Best Table Topics goes to Audrey. I guess you do a drum roll. And Best Evaluator goes to Victor.
Thank you ever so much, Yvette. And it was a pleasure being your general evaluator this evening. It's been more of a pleasure with the leadership of our Toastmaster. And I'll let you close this now, Mary Strode. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. As I mentioned in my little note to you, what a top-notch and insightful evaluation and thorough that you gave of this meeting. This meeting was a joy and very memorable. One particular visualization, let's not go there. I love how everyone jumped on board with the topic. It is a gargantuan topic, and perhaps down the road we will be able to go into it again. Thank you all for your meaningful contributions. I had a blast being Toastmaster. Without further delay, please welcome our president back on the floor, Eddie Vieira.
Give a round of applause to Mary. Mary, you did a wonderful job as Toastmaster. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your topic or your theme for the meeting. There's one more thing I want to show you guys about art.
Show us, Eddie, show us.
I hope you can see this. I'm not sure if you can see the words on it or not. No, you can't.
It's a rock.
Well, right below here is a
Do your
meaning. Yes, it says do your best. This is a flat rock. It's been smoothed out, and it has the words do your best. Art rock is a lost art that not very many people are doing. And this was given to me by my youngest daughter about 2 years ago when I was in the hospital. And she decided to visit me one day and gave that to me. And I'm very grateful for it. Also, a lot of things about art have a lot to do with nothing sometimes. Sometimes somebody will sit there and write a poem. Maybe they'll write a story. They'll draw a picture. Maybe they'll make a painting of some sort. And it's just something that came to them out of nowhere, just something that flung out of the mind. Then you have other people who work in certain themes. Maybe for a quarter, they'll work on themes of drawing trees and oceans and other types of nature. Then they'll move on to buildings. And then they'll move on to drawing things like Victor sitting right there in front of that beautiful cabinet behind him. So tonight was a great meeting. Everybody had fun. I never thought I would hear dirty diaper or the other word that comes with it in a Toastmaster meeting. So at this point, I would like to go ahead and open it up to club business. Does anybody have any business they'd like to discuss at this time?
Hey, yes. I have two things I want to cover. For next week, we do have an open slot for the first speaker, and I was wondering if anyone would like to possibly speak next week. getting crickets, so I'll work offline.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with you, Chris. Okay.
Okay, no worries. And then the second thing I want to cover was we all joined Toastmasters so we can improve ourselves in some way, fashion, or form. And I met with Quinn yesterday to discuss the mentorship program for our club. And we thought it would be a great idea if everyone came up with a list of goals that they wanted to achieve for the next upcoming year. And we could share those with your mentor, and then we can just all be in line in terms of what you want to focus on and what you want to improve on for this upcoming year. So Quinn and I have developed a survey on Google Forms that we will be sharing with everyone at the club. If you can take some time out of your, the next week or so before our next meeting to fill it out, that would be awesome. And that is it. Thank you, Eddie.
You're welcome. I saw that survey and I really like it. I think I replied to you earlier today, but
yeah,
good job, Quinn and Chris, getting together, working on that together. Anybody else have anything they'd like to talk about? Any business they'd like to go over? Victor? Any?
Well, my birthday is Saturday, and I prefer cash. So just I found out that on Facebook you can use the Facebook Messenger, and you can just message people cash gifts if you want to.
I'll just go to Cash Creek and get you some cash from there. Victor, are there any announcements about members you'd like to make?
I thought that announcement. We have 2 new members that need actually to be accepted into the club. That's Yvette Goularte and Needy Dylan. That's right. So we want to welcome them into the meeting next week. We can vote them in. And I think we have a date established for our induction, and we'll be inducting them in the future meeting.
Well, welcome, ladies, to Power Talkers. Give them a round of a hand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else anybody would like to bring to the table?
If you're not my friend on Facebook, I'm the VP of membership. Please add me so your friends can see me and we can get more members. Victor Irving Jenkins.
I just had a question about the survey. I didn't actually receive a survey. Did it? I'm sorry. Did I? Oh, it hasn't gone out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna send it out tonight.
Got it. Okay. I just misunderstood that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, this has been mentioned already, a couple of these, but I would like to thank Pauline for taking on a second role at the last minute. And I would like to thank our new member, Yvette, for taking on the awards master. And how about a great big round of applause to Needy for doing her icebreaker.
Yay!
So Quinn, or not Quinn, I'm used to asking Quinn. Chris, do we have a Toastmaster for next week yet?
Yes, we do. Literally talking with him 5 minutes ago. Leon is going to be the Toastmaster for next week.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone expect either an email or an Easy Speak email from Leon asking you to go and verify your roles. I want to thank everybody tonight for joining us. And I would also like to thank, who else? I had somebody else to thank something for.
Would you like to thank them?
Well, no, I think I will thank. Yeah.
Why don't you?
I will thank Mary for jumping on
Good one, Gwen.
being Toastmaster right away. I got a message from her, I believe it was Tuesday, through Easy Speak, and she's go in there, verify your roles, get on it, and gave her plenty of time to find other roles. And like tonight, we had a few people who, unfortunately, at the last minute, were not able to show up. I almost didn't make it tonight, and she jumped on that right away and found roles, people to fill those roles. So thank you very much, Maria. It's a very good job. Appreciate it.
I have just one of those I would like to kind of questions, and that is, it ticks weird in my head when it says like our timer tonight will be, to me in my mind, and maybe because I speak in more of an active voice, our timer tonight is.
Yeah,
we're already here. instead of, oh, on Thursday our timer will be, but I'm just used to hearing, or in my mind, it seems like we should, that it's is like when we're introducing them in the moment. Is it is? Where's our pro-grammarian here?
It should be is, and that's actually a great subject to bring up. And that's part of us learning to be a better Toastmaster and leader and a better presenter or MC, whichever you want to use.
All right,
So,
then
yeah,
let's go for it,
that was
folks.
wonderful. Thank you, Jake.
In the moment is.
The Eddie,
Sir.
in the spirit of being in the moment, I would like to be in the moment and.
But why don't you go ahead and do it? Go ahead and do it if you'd like.
I am being in the moment, and I'm asking everyone
You
to
is
please
in the
go
moment.
to Easy Speak and claim your role.
Leon, when's your birthday?
September 5th.
Okay. I'll make a note of that.
Well, you can start early with sending cash through Messenger. You don't have to wait until September to do it.
Victor says Venmo.
Venmo works just fine too. Cash App.
It sure does.
PayPal. I take all forms.
I even started to take Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'm not giving you any kind of Bitcoin. Leon, I just went in and accepted my role as humorist.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. I also want to say, I will say, Quinn, please pass on a big thank you to Adriana, and I will personally say it to her as well. Adriana, a while back, gave us a presentation on how to better present ourselves on video conference or video whatever. And her presentation she did and a couple of talks with her in between actually helped me look more professional Friday when I had to give a deposition. It was an 8-hour deposition on Zoom, not counting breaks and a 45-minute lunch. But I looked more professional than all 4 lawyers that were on it. I had everything eye level. I was sitting straight up. And you had a couple of lawyers that were down like this. And then you had one lawyer, I don't know what his deal was, but he was kind of like this. and then we had one after a couple of hours, he just started to lean in his chair like that. But
I will be certain to pass that along to her, Eddie. I just want to note that she normally would not recommend having stuffed animals in the background if you are presenting.
Oh no, there was nothing behind me. My wife, it cracked me up. My wife came behind me and actually took the stuffed animals from behind me.
So as long as you use table topics rules in the deposition and you did not tell the truth, I think you did all right. So you didn't tell the truth, did you?
Of course I told the truth. And I don't recommend it because it looks like I'm going to have another 4 hours coming up this week.
Oh my God.
They're not fun. We had one person who was deposed for 3 days. But I'll tell you, since we have a couple of minutes, being deposed via Zoom is actually more relaxing for you, the person being deposed, than it is in person because you are at your home or your office. You're comfortable sitting where you want to. You're wearing what you want to. I was wearing a nice shirt, of course, but I had shorts on and my slippers. And the lawyers will try to intimidate you with their facial expressions when you're answering questions. And
like
because exactly.
Were you there?
And because they have to show the forms that are being presented, it's like there's just one picture in the corner and you're seeing forms the entire time. You don't see everybody else. And so it's a lot more comfortable than that, than being in person. So
but
give it a shot. Don't give it a shot.
I had to kill him. Can't you see?
I had fun because I like.
He had it coming.
No, I had to kill him.
I had fun because I like telling people when they're wrong, when they're trying to judge me about something. So I had a blast. It was.
You know, Toastmasters ought to incorporate objections. We ought to be able to do that when people are speaking. You know, hey, I objected. I mean, that'd be make the meetings a lot more fun, I think.
Yeah, it was fun. I had to tell the lawyer, actually, I'm done. Quinn, it's all yours, buddy.
Mr. President, our time has expired.
We're out.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for being
Good
here.
night, all.
Great meeting.
Bye.
Hey, Quinn,
Good night, guys.
Yeah,
got a sec?
I do.
I was literally about to ask Quinn the same exact thing.
Oh, you can't all have.
Yeah, you can stay here, Chris. Dude,
What's up?
That deposition was awesome, man. You know how the lawyers they always try to ask you the same question 4 or 5 times different
Mm-hmm.
or different ways? He kept asking me a question about how I thought about somebody or how I thought somebody represented themselves. After the 3rd time, I told him, I'm not going to assume how somebody represents themselves. If you want to assume, that's great, but that's not something I can do. Can we move on to the next question? Yeah, he didn't quite like that very much.
I bet.
Hey, I wanted to let you know, it's been about 4 weeks now since you submitted all my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anything from TI yet, so I was going to give them a call tomorrow if I can before dialysis. But don't worry about it. I just want to let you know I'm taking care of it just in case you get an email, since you were the VPE when you submitted it.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe Chris and I can connect. Chris, do you have any time next weekend? Maybe 20 minutes or so?
Sure.
Are you gonna? Okay. Basically, Eddie is saying he had this the DTM to submit, so we just want to make sure that everything's in the system. And Eddie, it won't let us submit it twice. So if we go in the
Right.
system and check, we can always put that information in because we have everything we need.
Yeah, that's why I was going to go ahead and give them a call and take care of it. I'll let you guys worry about other things, and then if they say something wasn't submitted, I'll let you know.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, that was a really tough time for them because they had the program expiring. So I wonder if
Yeah.
some things got lost or what have you. But yeah, we've got everything in order.
That's
so.
why I waited 4 weeks, because they did say it was going to take them a while to get a lot of things done. I didn't want to call them 2 weeks after and then be patient here, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take care of that and I'll let you know what happens.
Okay, yeah, I have all those emails and documentation, so that's easy.
All right, cool deal. Well, hey, I'll let you guys chat.
All right,
Have a
bye,
good
Eddie.
night,
Awesome.
and I'll talk
Bye,
to you
Mr.
later.
Thanks, Eddie.
President.
See ya.
All right, what's up?
What's up, Quinn? Do you want to work on sending it out to everyone, the form? And I'm not
Yeah.
sure, did you add the name to
I
the
just
form as well?
added the name, yeah, so we're good there. And you know, we could even do it right now, and I can show you how you would do it.
Yeah.
So if you are on the drive and you pull up the survey, or if you already have the link somewhere else,
I'm pulling it up right now.
I'll put in PowerTalkers member interest survey. And then let me know when you're done with that.
Yep.
Okay, now we'll go into Easy Speak.
We have responses already?
Oh, you do?
2 responses? I'm not, no.
Maybe it was the executive committee.
Okay. Your name, 0 responsive, 2 responses. Uh-oh. It comes out kind of weird.
How are you? I haven't used this in a while. How are you looking at the, responses? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm share my screen. See, it's like we didn't have this filled out, so we're not sure who it was. Or maybe through individual, you might be able to tell. But when it says 2 goals you want to accomplish this year, it just gives you 2 responses, and then it doesn't say who really submitted those 2 responses.
I think here, let me pull up the survey. I think we'll export it. Do you see the create spreadsheet piece?
Yeah.
I think if we use that, it will make a line for the person.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we're good. You see what I mean?
Yeah, it has your name and then what they said. Okay.
Exactly. So each line will be a person.
Okay. So we'll have to figure out who this was.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it's, someone in the exec committee.
Right.
So.
Right.
All right. So if you're on Easy Speak and you go to My Communications Club Mass Email.
Okay. My communication. Okay.
And then it has little radio buttons and just select members. So change the inactive members and mailing list, everything else to no.
Okay.
And yep.
PowerTalkers interest form, interest survey. Okay.
And then just a simple.
Shoot. Is there a nicer way to say this? I feel it's a little bit blunt. Do I have to like say, hey, as I mentioned in the meeting? No.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. You could even just say, please fill out our club's member interest survey. Yeah, just take some time too. There's this book, Elements of Style by E.B. White. Did you ever read that book?
I have not.
It was, I think, like a intro to freshman writing. And it said, you know, one of the easiest things you can do to become a better writer is to read your work and remove all unnecessary words.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. Send her an email.
The
link.
Yeah, there you go.
Shorten the URL. It's not there. Beauty speakers.
Perfect. Oh, now it's not a question anymore. Yeah.
It's a
please fill out the member interest survey.
Okay.
That's all. You don't have to worry about the other stuff.
Just hit email?
Yep. And it'll go to everyone. For whatever reason, sometimes I've noticed when you send out a message using this service, it sends it to you twice, just you personally. So it's kind of weird. The other thing, maybe since we're on this line, can we check the link for the meeting?
I was just about to say that. So edit meeting link, it's still the same one.
Yep.
So delete the past. And then I put the password here.
Oh.
But still.
But do you see how it just, did it reduce your meeting link? Go over to the left again? Did it just change? No.
No, so this is, it doesn't allow you to do the full URL. It only allows you to do this number.
Weird.
So I'll even give this a try.
So you hit save?
Oh,
there you go.
It worked.
Yeah, maybe you just didn't hit save.
Yeah, last time it wasn't working for some reason. I don't know.
Can you go back to the previous meeting?
Yep.
And then edit the link, and I will try to open it while we're on the line and see. Well, I won't be able to do it because we're in this call.
The speaker was Niti, right?
Yeah, here, I'll try to do it on my phone.
Oh yeah, who's responsible for filling in like the, you know, who got the award for something?
Susan is, but she wasn't on the meeting, and one of the things she'll learn.
Oh, it's the awards master that does it?
No, it's Susan, like the, she's our secretary. So she will go into, either you or Susan can do it.
Okay.
So if you want just to cover Susan and help her out, we could enter that in real quick.
Any first time awards today?
No.
Niti, right? Since you use.
Oh yeah, we don't really use that piece as much.
Okay.
It's the other pieces, and then the other stuff you'll do, you just confirm that all the people who had roles actually filled them. So if you scroll down, anywhere where Cliff had a role, we'll have to change it.
Change it to, I think, Pauline, right? Took it as awards master.
No, that was
Yvette.
Yvette. Yep. There you go.
And then Pauline was a listener. Pauline took a second role though. I remember that. It's a timer.
Oh, Adriana was, okay. Whoops, I should have taken that role. Cool.
Cool.
So one observation from the meeting, Chris called on, people who didn't have roles, which I think is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, if you're the table topics master, you try to call on people who have the least speaking roles. So I probably wouldn't have picked me because I spoke for the educational moment and that was fairly long.
Mm-hmm.
So I maybe would have picked Robert. So just other things you'll notice as you go through. You don't have to give him that feedback, but in case you're ever the table topics master, something to consider.
Okay.
So now you hit close. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Can you reopen it?
Oh, we were going to do this thing, huh?
Yes, do that thing and then one other thing too. Oh, I guess you can't even edit it. So don't worry about it. Maybe what we'll do if you have the time, I'll check 30 minutes before the meeting and text you if there's an issue. But I think we should be good to go. And let's do this. Can we go? Adriana didn't attend. That was the other thing I was going to change when we reopened it. Sorry. So there was,
she was listed as an attendee?
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially anyone like Cliff and
I'm here.
Adriana, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we'll just mark them as no. And same for
no.
Demetrius didn't attend.
Yeah. Did you check in with Victor on Demetrius?
He says he gets them, so I'll just confirm with him that he actually acts on them. I don't think he answered the whole thing. But yeah, I think that's a good point. And maybe we can even make like a little tiny committee that just, interacts with those people who haven't come to a meeting in a while. All right, now we can close that. Now let's go to the meeting on August 17th and we'll see if the meeting link sticks. So you don't need the password every time. I think it does. No, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a way we can change it in Easy Speak to always have that.
Yeah, I think it's like somewhere inside meetings, when you create a meeting, you can pre-populate a lot of this.
Okay. I don't know how to do that. Here, let me.
I created the meetings for September, so let me create a meeting for past September.
Okay, and I'm gonna Google it too and see if there's anything.
So I think I lied. It's not here.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's not there. Darn.
I guess you can't.
Oh, really?
Let's see. I'm reading on Easy Speak. They have a little instruction guide. Here, I'll send this to you too, just so you can read it too.
Okay.
Oh, man. Yeah, I feel like you have to type it into every meeting, as far as I can see. Yeah, I don't think they have a way. I think they have a misunderstanding that each meeting must be the same or must be different when we're using our personal meeting ID, essentially.
Yeah, reoccurring one, right? It's always the same.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that was pretty much everything I wanted to talk to you about. So.
Okay, sounds good. So you'll send the message to Yvette tomorrow. I'll be her mentor.
Yep. And then actually, there's one thing. Remember when we talked during our officers meeting, we had mentioned that once a quarter we want to do, what was it, that thing that we did where everyone was talking and everyone had breakout rooms?
Yes, the mixer.
The mixer, right. Did you ever plan on a date for that?
I don't remember if we did. I know we said we wanted to make it a regular thing, and you only do things regularly if you calendar it.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think if you use 2Speakers PTT, sorry.
How
And
do I go back
the way you can edit it, if you go up to the top left in meeting, the little pencil. Yep. And, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go. And maybe what we can do over a beer sometime is just go through and clear out all those other templates. This is just confusing.
Okay, and then I remember you had, oh, okay, go ahead.
No, you go.
I remember you had one of the sessions where you had 5 different speakers that went during a meeting. Did you do that on a quarterly basis, or was that just ad hoc? Like
ad hoc. Sometimes the requests for speaking will become overwhelming. Like you'll have so many people that want to speak for whatever reason, and you just hold a meeting impromptu, probably a couple weeks out, and you say, we're just going to do speeches from now on.
Okay.
For this meeting. Sometimes it's also strategic for club goals. So, the sign of a successful club is people are meeting their education goals, which most often involves speaking. And if you notice that people are getting towards the end of the Toastmaster year and they think, oh, I want to finish this level, or oh, I want to finish these 2 levels, one of the easy ways that you can give them those opportunities to speak is by holding those meetings that are only speech oriented. Now, you always have to have an evaluation, and it's a written evaluation in those cases. And that's how you do it.
Okay. Cool. So I'll just keep an eye out for any times when several people are submitting for speech requests, and do it then.
Yeah, and you'll feel it. I mean, it's okay if you have to push someone out a couple weeks, like 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, and then you also just keep that person top of mind. Like next week, for example, you have 1 speaker slot. So if you had 3 or 4 people asking you to speak, and then you had that person top of mind, you can pull from them.
Okay. And then would it be too soon to ask Yvette if she wants to be speaking next week?
I don't think so. I think if you were to do that, it may be good to connect with her over the phone. And that may be part of it too. Yeah, maybe it doesn't matter. I was thinking maybe we could add to the survey how many speeches you've ever given, but that's not a huge important thing. But it may be good to ask that for Yvette, because I don't really think we know how far into the Pathways program she is. If she's given an icebreaker speech like Needy or not.
Okay, so what are the things that I would be checking with her? Is that it? Just
how
far along she is in Pathways?
Exactly, and any questions she has about the club. And if you want, because I had the meeting one-on-one with Needy, I'm happy to do a 3-way call too, like the former VP, and I can even lead it too. And
that would be very helpful. I can see hand in hand.
Yeah, I've seen someone else do that for me too, so that helped me out when I was first starting.
Okay, cool.
So maybe just schedule a time for you and me and Yvette, and I'm pretty much free anytime after 5 on the weekdays and anytime on the weekends.
Okay, sounds good. Cool.
All right.
Thanks, Gwen. Appreciate your time.
Nice. All right. Have a good night.
All right. You too.
See ya.
Bye-bye.